It's a beautiful afternoon here at the Juru Grand, where we're live for the final between Burundi and Rwanda. Burundi playing in green. They're the surprise package of this East Africa tournament. Solid in defence, but lacking a cutting edge in attack. And that's their weak point. Their opponents, Rwanda, are in yellow, and they're clear favourites to win. Their attack's been explosive throughout the tournament, with an average of 2 goals a game, and their forwards have promised to score more today. Today's referee is Heiko Ripper from Germany. The two captains shake hands. Rwanda's Theodomia, looking hard at Burundi's Obed. Both teams play good quality football. It should be a high-tempo match. That's the kickoff. It's game on. Rwanda on the attack. Well intercepted by Zinzinkayo. That pass, Rwanda got the ball back, but not for long. It's a nervous start. Well defended Burundi. Goalkeeper gets an early touch. Theodomia back in position. The guy moves up the pitch. He goes past one player and another. Bed's play to the left. Kamana intercepts, and he's off. It's a quick counter-attack. Obed breaks it up. Bad pass though. It's Rwanda. Obed clears upfield. Hakizimana bursting forward. He's heading for goal. It's a goal!
This is not just any football match. Each and every member of both the Burundi and Rwanda teams were driven from their home countries during the inter-ethnic wars, and the match is taking place in the Nakivale refugee camp in southwest Uganda. The Nakivale camp covers an area of 9 square miles, close to the Tanzanian and Rwandan borders. The refugees come from across the Horn of Africa, but over 80% of the camp's population are Rwandan. The refugees are divided into nationalities, grouped together in different areas of the camp. These different areas are organised as traditional rural villages. The camp is run by the Ugandan government and the UNHCR, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Theodomir, 17, captain of the Rwandan team. And Obed, 19, captain of the Burundi team. Today may be match day, but it began just like any other day for the two captains. At 6 o'clock, just like on any other morning, Theodomir goes to the lake to fetch water. Theodomir has been a refugee for nearly 10 years. He lives alone. His parents disappeared during the inter-ethnic massacres of 1994.
First, my father was arrested. Then I saw that the security forces were also taking away my neighbours and friends. I didn't know where they were taking them. I was scared and I decided to leave my country, Rwanda. I was 8 years old. I left on my own, on foot. I walked for 2 days without anything to eat. I arrived in Tanzania, where I stayed for a few years in the refugee camps. When they wanted to repatriate me by force, I came here to Uganda.
Every morning at 6 o'clock, Obed goes to help his father in the family bakery. Obed left Burundi 10 years ago with his parents and 6 brothers. The family recently arrived here in Nakivale after fleeing Tanzania, where their camp was about to be closed.
I left my country, Burundi, because of the massacres carried out against our ethnic group. Mum left first with one of my little brothers, then I left alone. And sometime later my father joined us with my 5 other brothers. We came through the reception centre here in Nakivale, but only Mum and one of my little brothers, who were the first to arrive, have been registered so far. That means that for now we receive Red Cross food rations for 2 people, even though we're a family of 9.
Obed doesn't go to school. As soon as they are old and strong enough to stand on their own 2 feet, all the children in the family must work. That's the only way the family can survive. When his family fled to Tanzania, Obed's father met a baker who gave him a recipe for brioche. When he arrived in Nakivale, he borrowed a small sum of money and opened a bakery. In Nakivale, the UNHCR and the Ugandan government are trying to revive a local economy by encouraging refugees to set up as tradespeople. The aim is to break the cycle of dependence on outside aid and to recreate the basis of a real social and professional life. Despite these efforts, many people in the camp do not work, leading to the same type of problems experienced by urban areas with high levels of unemployment: violence, crime, alcoholism and drug abuse. Theodomir is back from the lake. He has a wash before going to school, but there is nothing for breakfast. The Red Cross food rations only stretch as far as 1 meal a day, which he eats in the evening. He has no parents and no family. Nothing but humanitarian aid. At 8 o'clock, after working at the bakery, Obed comes back home to help his mother and brothers. The Ugandan government gives a plot of land to each refugee family so that they can grow food and take their own survival in hand.
Nakivale refugee settlement has a population of 14,427. These are persons due to founded fear from their countries have come into Uganda and are being protected by UNHCR. In Uganda, it is particular because this is one country that has been able to give refugees vast land to live like local people and to farm and to interact with the local people. And UNHCR is very grateful to the Ugandan government for having given refugees this opportunity to live among their people, to cultivate food for themselves among their people.
Like encouraging them to take up a trade, giving the refugees land is a way of trying to return them to a more normal way of life. Encouraging self-sufficiency is an attempt to give them back their identity, their pride, or quite simply, a reason to live. It also takes pressure off humanitarian aid, which is increasingly having difficulty tackling the many problems in the region. Not all the refugees in Nakivale are necessarily farmers, and they don't all accept the government's gift of a plot of land with the same enthusiasm.
They give you a plot of land to cultivate, and working the land when you've spent 30 years at school learning is really difficult. We're trying, but it's really very difficult. It's very hard.
8 o'clock. Lessons begin for Theodomir in one of the schools created inside the camp, attended by Ugandan children and refugees without distinction. Here at Juru School there are 750 pupils for just 13 teachers. Half the pupils and half the teachers are refugees.
I just started university when the Civil War broke out, and I just finished my first year. I had to leave my native country, and I went to Tanzania, my first country of refuge. I spent about 7 years there, and not long ago they were going to forcibly repatriate all the refugees. So I had to move on again to escape from the forced repatriation. That's how I found myself here in Uganda. I was an intellectual of the future. And the truth in our country is that certain intellectuals are frowned on.
Janvier has been teaching in Nakivale for a year now. Although his Ugandan colleagues are paid by the government, he has received no salary at all. The local Red Cross is trying to raise funds and is thought to be intending to pay the wages of the refugee teachers in the future.
I became a teacher here because here the refugees, the children, have the right to study. I've been working here for a year now, But until now, it's been on a voluntary basis. And even if it's voluntary work, well, I'm proud of teaching my little children. I call them my little ones. They're refugees like me. And I'm really proud of being able to teach them. Because they're the ones who will replace me in the future and who will educate the next generation.